Hello, I'm Leonardo Blake. I'm 61 years old and I'm a homosexual. Was that okay?
Yeah, that's good. So when you were 18, you moved to London?
Yes, it was a brand new adventure for me. The year was 1973 and I found employment in a little corner shop on the corner of Devonshire Street in Marylebone. My employer, Mr. Wainwright, was very good to me. I was happy working there. With money from my parents, I was able to find lodgings nearby in Manchester Street. It was a room with meals and cooked by the lovely Miss Pembroke. Her husband was a lawyer and worked long hours. After my shift at Mr. Wainwright's, I would come home and talk to Mrs. Pembroke for hours. We talked about many things, lived there happily for 3 years. Whilst living with Mrs. Pembroke, I acquired a taste for the performing arts. Mrs. Pembroke's brother worked in a nearby theatre, and she got me a part-time job working behind the scenes, running for actors, carrying props and doing the curtains.
Did you do any acting in that theatre?
Yes, I did. It was August 1974. There was an audition for a play of Macbeth, I think it was. I auditioned for the part of Angus. My character aided in the battle against Macbeth. I auditioned and they loved me and cast me in the role. It was at this time that I left Wainwright's and worked full-time at the theatre. We rehearsed the play and loved every minute of it. There was a young actor playing Macduff, who struggled with his lines. He was about the same age as I was. He struggled with his lines, so I helped him. We got along very well, and one night when rehearsing lines, he leaned forward and kissed me on the cheek. This kiss soon turned into a snog, and before we knew it, we were at it like rabbits. He was a very passionate lover, and we went on to become boyfriends for 5 years. I remember the first time I brought him back to Mrs. Pembroke. We sat down at the dining table and she served us scones with cream and jam and tea. Mrs. Pembroke liked my boyfriend very much, and it was nice to know she approved, as she was like a second mother to me. After Macbeth, I was employed at another London theatre in another play of which my boyfriend also starred. It was not before too long that me and him moved into our own house together. It was one fateful night when Adam, my boyfriend, took me to a strange place in the West End, known as Soho. It was a refuge for all the outcasts of society. It was where I saw people like myself walking around freely without risk of being abused or ridiculed. We went into a nice little bar where they had a cabaret act on. It was a man in drag, and this was the first time I had ever seen such a thing in the flesh, and it was this that sparked my curiosity for the effeminate and the flamboyant. Me and Adam came back to this club time and time again to see men in drag.
When did you start wearing makeup in public?
It was shortly after meeting Pussy Tourette. I bought some makeup from Mr. Wainwright's shop, who thought I was buying it for a girl. I got home, rushed in front of the mirror, put on my makeup for the first time. I put it on and I felt so free. I felt complete. I felt like me. I felt this was who I was born to be. From that moment on, every time I went out, I wore makeup. I thought to myself, never deny who you are.